In the heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like ambitious dreams, Alexander Hale rushed through the pouring rain toward his penthouse. As the CEO of Hale Tech, a billion-dollar empire in artificial intelligence, he had just wrapped up a grueling board meeting, his mind still buzzing with algorithms and acquisitions. But nothing prepared him for the sight that greeted him when he flung open the door. A complete stranger, drenched and shivering, cradling his 6-month-old son, Ethan, in the dimly lit foyer. Alexander's heart stopped. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded, his voice a mix of fury and fear, dropping his briefcase with a thud that echoed through the marble halls. The man looked up, his eyes wide with surprise but steady, holding Ethan close as if protecting him from the world outside. "I'm Jamie," the stranger said calmly, though his hands trembled slightly. "I found your door ajar and heard the baby crying. There was no one here, no nanny, no one. I couldn't just leave him like that." Alexander's mind raced. His nanny had texted about an emergency family issue and left early. But how had the door been left open? Security breach? Negligence? He stepped forward, arms outstretched to take his son. But Jamie hesitated for a split second, as if assessing whether Alexander was truly the father. Ethan cooed softly in Jamie's arms, seemingly content, which only fueled Alexander's confusion. As a single gay man who had built his life around control and precision, adopting Ethan through a surrogate had been his most vulnerable choice yet. Society still whispered about men like him raising children alone, and now this intrusion shattered his carefully constructed world. After a tense moment, Jamie gently handed Ethan over. "He's okay," Jamie assured, his voice soft with a Midwestern accent that hinted at simpler roots. Alexander clutched his son, checking him over instinctively, while eyeing Jamie suspiciously. The man was in his late 20s with tousled brown hair, wearing a worn leather jacket and jeans that spoke of a life far from corporate luxury. "I live in the building across the street," Jamie explained. "I was walking home when I heard the cries. The door was cracked. I pushed it open, thinking someone might need help." Alexander's security instincts kicked in. He grabbed his phone to call the police, but something in Jamie's earnest gaze made him pause. "Why didn't you call the authorities yourself?" he asked sharply. Jamie shrugged. "I didn't want to scare the kid more." He calmed down when I picked him up. "Look, I'm not here to cause trouble. I can leave now." But Alexander couldn't let it go that easily. "Wait," he said, his tone softening just a fraction as Ethan nestled against his chest. The rain pounded against the windows, mirroring the storm in his mind. Who was this guy, really? A good Samaritan, or something more sinister? In a city where trust was a rare commodity, Alexander's walls were high, built from years of navigating boardrooms and personal prejudices as an openly gay executive. As Jamie turned to go, Alexander noticed a faint bruise on his cheek, partially hidden by stubble. "What happened to your face?" he blurted out, surprising himself with the concern. Jamie touched it self-consciously. "Rough day at work. Construction site accident. Nothing major." He paused at the door. "Take care of that little guy. He's got your eyes." Alexander watched him leave, the door clicking shut behind him. He secured the locks, double-checked the alarm, and settled Ethan in his crib. But sleep evaded him that night. Questions swirled. How had the door been left open? Was Jamie telling the truth? And why did the image of that stranger holding his son linger in his thoughts? The next morning, Alexander dove into his routine: coffee, emails, a quick video call with his assistant. But he couldn't shake the unease. He reviewed the building's security footage, confirming Jamie's story. The nanny rushing out, forgetting to latch the door properly in her haste. Jamie appearing minutes later, hesitating before entering. Relieved yet intrigued, Alexander decided to dig deeper. A quick background check through his company's resources revealed Jamie Lawson, 28, from a small town in Ohio, now a construction worker in the city. No criminal record, but a history of foster care and a recent eviction notice. Alexander felt a pang of guilt for invading his privacy, but as a father, he justified it. That evening, after putting Ethan down, Alexander crossed the street to Jamie's building, a modest apartment complex dwarfed by his own luxury tower. He knocked on the door listed in the records, holding a bottle of expensive scotch as a makeshift thank you. Jamie opened the door, surprise flickering across his face. "Mr. Hale? How did you—" "Alexander," he corrected. "And I have my ways. I wanted to thank you properly. For yesterday." Jamie invited him in reluctantly. The apartment was sparse, a couch, a few books, takeout containers. "I don't usually entertain billionaires," Jamie joked, accepting the scotch. They talked awkwardly at first. Alexander learned Jamie had moved to New York chasing dreams of becoming an architect, but life had derailed him with family debts and lost opportunities. "Foster system chewed me up," Jamie admitted. "But I make do." Alexander shared snippets of his own life, the rise from a middle-class family who disowned him after he came out, to building Hale Tech from scratch. "Ethan's my everything now," he said. "Adopting him was the best decision, but it's lonely sometimes." As the conversation flowed, Alexander felt an unexpected connection. Jamie's quiet strength reminded him of his own buried vulnerabilities. When he left that night, he wondered if fate had cracked that door open for a reason. Days turned into weeks. Alexander found excuses to bump into Jamie, coffee runs, park walks with Ethan. Jamie was good with the baby, making him laugh in ways Alexander envied. But whispers started in Alexander's world. His conservative board members raised eyebrows at rumors of him associating with the help. One even pulled him aside. "Image matters, Alex. A gay CEO with a kid? Fine. But slumming it? Think of the shareholders." Alexander brushed it off, but doubts crept in. Was he risking his empire for a fleeting connection? And Jamie had his own battles. Coworkers teasing him about hanging with the rich queer, igniting old insecurities from his rural upbringing where being gay was taboo. One evening, during a walk in Central Park, Jamie confessed, "I think I'm falling for you, Alex. But it's complicated. You're up there, I'm down here." Alexander's heart raced. "Complicated doesn't scare me," he replied, leaning in for their first tentative kiss under the autumn leaves. But complications were just beginning. Alexander's ex-partner, a high-profile lawyer named Marcus, reappeared, claiming he wanted involvement with Ethan, despite abandoning them during the adoption process. Marcus, still in the closet professionally, saw Alexander's new relationship as a threat. "That construction worker? Really? You'll ruin our son's future," he sneered in a heated confrontation. Jamie overheard, sparking their first fight. "Am I just a rebound? Or do you see me as beneath you?" Alexander reassured him, but the seeds of doubt grew. Society's judgments amplified, tabloid articles questioning Alexander's fitness as a parent, anonymous threats to Jamie's job. The drama escalated when Jamie's estranged family discovered his sexuality through a leaked photo, disowning him outright. Through it all, their bond deepened. Jamie moved in temporarily for safety, helping with Ethan while Alexander navigated legal battles with Marcus. But a pivotal moment came during a company gala. Alexander invited Jamie as his date, defying the board's warnings. Whispers filled the room, and one investor pulled funding, citing moral concerns. Alexander stood firm on stage. "Love isn't a liability," he declared. "It's what makes us human." The backlash was swift, stock dips, hate mail. Jamie felt guilty. "Maybe we're not meant to be," he said one night, packing his bags. But Alexander stopped him. "We fight for this. For us. For Ethan." The decision to fight brought a fragile peace, but the world outside their penthouse was unforgiving. Alexander buried himself in work, innovating new AI ethics protocols to distract from the personal turmoil. Jamie, meanwhile, enrolled in night classes for architecture, inspired by Alexander's encouragement. Ethan thrived amid the chaos, his first words, "Dada," melting both men's hearts, blurring lines of who was the real parent. Yet, conflict simmered. Marcus escalated his custody threats, hiring a private investigator who dug up Jamie's past. Time in juvie for a minor theft during his foster years. "This man's unstable," Marcus argued in court filings. Exposing our son to that? Alexander's lawyers countered, but the media frenzy painted Jamie as a gold digger. Online forums debated. Was a gay billionaire's love life fair game for public scrutiny? Comments ranged from supportive to vicious, questioning if two men could provide a balanced home. Jamie bore the brunt. At his construction site, co-workers escalated from jokes to sabotage, tools missing, assignments to dangerous tasks. One day, a beam nearly collapsed on him, sending him to the ER with a concussion. Alexander rushed to his side, fury boiling. "This has to stop," he said, holding Jamie's hand. "It's because of me," Jamie whispered. "Being with you puts a target on my back." Alexander hired security, but the incident ignited Jamie's resolve. He confronted his boss, demanding fair treatment, only to be fired on spurious grounds. Unemployment hit hard. Jamie's pride refused Alexander's financial help. "I won't be your kept man," he insisted. Their arguments grew heated. Alexander, used to solving problems with money, couldn't understand Jamie's independence. "Let me help. It's not charity. It's us." Jamie shot back. "Us? Or you controlling everything?" The strain peaked during Thanksgiving. Alexander's sister, Elena, the only family member who supported him, visited. She adored Jamie but warned Alexander privately, "Society's not ready for this fairy tale. Protect your heart and Ethan's." That night, over turkey and tension, Jamie shared his backstory more deeply. Abandoned by parents addicted to drugs, bounced through fosters where being different meant beatings. "I hid who I was for years," he admitted, "until New York. But even here, it's a fight." Elena nodded empathetically. "My brothers fought too. Coming out cost him our parents. The vulnerability bonded them, but external pressures mounted." A conservative activist group targeted HailTech, boycotting products and labeling Alexander a threat to family values. Stock plummeted further, forcing layoffs. Employees whispered blame toward Jamie. In a board meeting, a director proposed, "Distance yourself from this. Distraction. For the company's sake." Alexander exploded. "My personal life isn't up for vote." He stormed out, confiding in Jamie later. "Am I selfish? Risking jobs for love?" Jamie held him. "Love's worth the risk. But maybe we need space to figure it out." They agreed to a trial separation, Jamie crashing with a friend, Alexander focusing on damage control. Days apart felt eternal. Alexander missed Jamie's laughter echoing in the halls, his gentle way with Ethan. During this time, Marcus made his move, petitioning for joint custody with evidence of Alexander's unstable household. The court date loomed, amplifying anxieties. Jamie, job hunting, faced discrimination. Interviews derailed by questions about his famous boyfriend. Frustrated, he volunteered at a LGBTQ youth center, finding purpose in mentoring kids like his younger self. One evening, Alexander showed up at the center unannounced. "I can't do this without you," he confessed amid the chatter of teens. Jamie pulled him aside. "Then fight smarter. Not just for us, but for them." He gestured to the kids. Inspired, Alexander pivoted. He launched a HailTech initiative funding LGBTQ scholarships, turning backlash into advocacy. Media shifted slightly. Some praised his boldness. Reunited, they prepared for court. But a twist emerged. The investigator uncovered Marcus's own secrets. A hidden affair, hypocritical given his public stance against gay rights. Confronted, Marcus backed down, settling for visitation under supervision. Victory tasted sweet, but scars remained. As winter blanketed the city, their relationship evolved. Jamie landed an apprenticeship with a top architecture firm, thanks to Alexander's connections, but earned on merit. Ethan took his first steps toward Jamie, symbolizing their blended family. Yet not all was resolved. Alexander's board simmered with resentment, plotting a no-confidence vote. And Jamie's family reached out tentatively, sparked by media coverage, but with conditions: accept us, but hide your lifestyle. Choices loomed. Alexander considered stepping down as CEO to prioritize family. Jamie weighed reconciling with blood relatives versus chosen ones. In quiet moments, they reflected on how one rainy night changed trajectories. Love, they learned, wasn't just passion but perseverance amid society's storms. Spring brought renewal to New York, but for Alexander and Jamie, it ushered in fresh tempests. With the custody battle behind them, they focused on building a life together. Alexander proposed co-adoption papers for Jamie, a gesture that moved him to tears. "You're already his dad," Alexander said, as Ethan played at their feet. The process, however, stirred controversy. Adoption agencies scrutinized their relationship, with one caseworker subtly questioning, "Two fathers, how will that affect his development?" Alexander bit back anger, citing studies on loving homes over gender norms. Jamie, drawing from his foster experiences, advocated fiercely, "Stability matters more than stereotypes." Public opinion divided. Supportive articles hailed them as trailblazers. Others decried eroding traditional families. Social media erupted with hashtags like Love Wins and Protect Kids, fueling heated debates. At HailTech, the board's unrest boiled over. During a shareholders' meeting, a faction demanded Alexander's resignation. "Your personal dramas are tanking our value," the lead dissenter accused. Alexander defended, "Innovation thrives on authenticity. Hiding who I am would be the real betrayal." The vote was close, but he retained his position barely. Allies emerged, including younger executives who admired his courage. Still, the ordeal strained him, leading to sleepless nights where doubts whispered. Was love worth the professional cost? Jamie noticed, offering solace. "We're in this together." But his own challenges arose. His new apprenticeship exposed him to elitist colleagues who dismissed his blue-collar background. "Slumming it with the boss?" one sneered. Jamie confided in Alexander, who suggested networking events. At one gala, Jamie shone, impressing architects with fresh ideas. But a tipsy guest cornered him. "So, you're the one who saved the baby?" Convenient way to snag a billionaire. Humiliated, Jamie left early. Alexander followed, their drive home tense. "I feel like a trophy sometimes," Jamie admitted. Alexander pulled over. "You're my partner, not a prize. I'm sorry if the world sees it differently." They recommitted, but Jamie's family complicated matters. His sister, Sarah, visited secretly. "Mom and Dad want to meet Ethan," she said, "but they insist on no gay stuff around him." Jamie laughed bitterly. "Like what? Rainbows and show tunes." The visit happened neutrally in a park. His parents cooed over Ethan but eyed Alexander warily. "Successful man," his father grunted. "But this lifestyle, it's not natural." Alexander remained polite, but Jamie exploded later. "They abandoned me. Now they judge us." The encounter reopened old wounds. Jamie spiraled, questioning his worth. "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not cut out for this." Alexander held him through the night, sharing his own disownment story. Family isn't blood. It's who shows up. Healing came slowly. They attended couples therapy, unpacking insecurities. The therapist challenged, "Society's noise is loud. Tune into each other." Meanwhile, a new threat emerged. A rival tech firm, led by a homophobic CEO, launched a smear campaign, hacking HailTech servers and leaking emails about Alexander's personal life. Headlines screamed, "Billionaire's secret affairs exposed?" Though the affairs were fabricated, damage was done. Clients wavered, and Jamie faced online harassment. One night, protesters gathered outside their building, chanting slurs. Security escorted them inside, but Ethan wailed from the noise. Jamie snapped, "This is too much." "For what?" Alexander, rallying, sued the rival and went public with a press conference. "Attacks on my family won't silence me. Diversity drives progress." The move garnered allies, celebrities, activists amplifying their story. A viral video of Jamie speaking at the youth center humanized them. "Love doesn't discriminate. Why should we?" Momentum shifted. HailTech stock rebounded. buoyed by a wave of inclusive consumers. Jamie's firm promoted him, recognizing his talent. But triumph was bittersweet. During a quiet dinner, Alexander proposed. "Marry me, Jamie. Let's make it official." Jamie hesitated. With all this chaos? What if it's too soon? Alexander knelt. "Chaos is life. I want you in it forever." Tears flowed as Jamie said yes. Planning the wedding invited more scrutiny. Venue denials from conservative owners. Debates over gay weddings in media. Friends rallied. Elena organized. Youth Center kids designed invitations. The ceremony, intimate in Central Park, symbolized resilience. Vows exchanged amid cherry blossoms. In storms and sun, I choose you. Honeymoon in Hawaii brought bliss, but reality awaited. Back home, a whistleblower revealed the board's secret attempts to oust Alexander, including bribes. Furious, he cleaned house, appointing diverse leaders. Jamie, inspired, launched a nonprofit for LGBTQ foster youth, funded by Hail Tech. As summer faded, Ethan turned one, his party a joyous blend of worlds. Tech moguls mingling with construction buddies. Laughter filled the air, but undercurrents lingered. Would society ever fully accept them? Autumn's chill mirrored the cooling public fervor, but personal storms brewed anew. Alexander and Jamie's marriage made headlines, polarizing further. Congratulatory messages flooded in, yet hate groups organized online petitions to boycott Hail Tech, claiming it promoted deviant agendas. At work, Alexander faced internal sabotage, leaked prototypes, anonymous complaints. Investigations pointed to a disgruntled ex-board member. But proof was elusive. Stress mounted. Alexander snapped at staff, regretting it instantly. Jamie noticed the toll. "Talk to me," he urged during a late-night walk with Ethan in a stroller. "I feel like I'm failing everyone," Alexander confessed. "You, Ethan, the company." Jamie stopped, cupping his face. "You're human. We lean on each other." But Jamie's nonprofit hit hurdles too. Funding grants were denied due to controversial affiliations. Code for their high-profile marriage. Volunteers dropped out amid threats. One evening, Jamie received a chilling call. "Stay away from our kids, or else." He reported it, but police dismissed it as trolling. Alexander insisted on bodyguards straining their privacy. "This isn't the life I wanted for us," Jamie lamented. Tensions escalated during a family trip to Ohio for Jamie's high school reunion. His attempt at closure. Classmates gawked. "Didn't know you swung that way. And married to a billionaire? Lucky break." An old bully confronted them. "Flaunting your perversion here? Think of the children." Alexander stepped in. "Love isn't perversion. Bigotry is." The incident went viral, sparking national debate. Were gay couples imposing on conservative spaces? Pundits argued pros and cons, with some defending their right to exist anywhere. Back in New York, the backlash affected Ethan. His daycare reported parents complaining about exposure to alternative lifestyles. Alexander pulled him out, hiring a private nanny, but isolation crept in. Therapy sessions intensified. Resentments building, the counselor noted. Address it before it fractures. Indeed, arguments flared. Alexander accused Jamie of naivety. "You think goodwill changes minds? It takes power." Jamie retorted, "Power without heart is empty, like your boardroom battles." A breaking point came when Jamie discovered Alexander had secretly donated to political campaigns against anti-LGBTQ laws, without consulting him. "You fight alone," Jamie said. "What about us as a team?" Alexander apologized, but trust waned. Jamie spent nights at the nonprofit office, claiming work. Loneliness hit Alexander hard. He confided in Elena. "What if I lose him?" "Show vulnerability," she advised. "Not just strength." Inspired, Alexander organized a surprise. A weekend getaway to the Hamptons, sans security. They reconnected, sharing fears. "I hide behind control," Alexander admitted. "Scared of losing what I love." Jamie softened. "I push away to protect myself, but I need you." Intimacy returned, fortifying them. Upon return, they tackled issues jointly. Alexander involved Jamie in company decisions, like launching an AI tool for detecting online hate speech. The tool's success restored confidence. Media praised, from personal pain to public good. Jamie's nonprofit secured funding through celebrity endorsements, expanding programs. But a final twist loomed. Marcus resurfaced, sober and apologetic, seeking genuine co-parenting. "I've changed," he claimed, attending therapy. Alexander was wary, but Jamie advocated forgiveness. For Ethan's sake, give him a chance. Supervised visits began. Marcus bonded with Ethan, but old jealousies stirred. During one, he questioned Jamie's role. "You're the stepdad, right? Not blood." Jamie held firm. "Family's more than blood." The arrangement worked tentatively, but society watched. Articles speculated. 3 dads? Progressive or problematic? As winter approached, a major conflict arose. Hale Tech's biggest investor, a traditionalist tycoon, demanded Alexander tone down advocacy or lose support. Business isn't politics. Alexander faced a choice: compromise or stand firm. With Jamie's input, he refused, pivoting to ethical investors. The move cost millions short-term but aligned with values. Jamie stood by him, proud of you. Through trials, their love matured. Less fairy tale, more forged in fire. Ethan grew, oblivious to storms, his innocence a reminder of why they persevered. With the new year, resolutions solidified. Alexander and Jamie committed to balance. Fewer galas, more family time. Ethan started toddler classes, thriving in a progressive environment they carefully selected. But lingering shadows persisted. The hate speech AI tool uncovered a network targeting LGBTQ families, including theirs. Authorities investigated, leading to arrests. Relief washed over them, but paranoia lingered. Jamie's family made amends slowly. A Christmas card arrived. "Thinking of you all." Tentative calls followed, with his mother admitting, "We were wrong. Fear blinded us." Reconciliation dinners were awkward but healing. Alexander's charm won them over gradually. "He's good for you," his father conceded. Professionally, Hale Tech soared, innovating sustainable AI. Jamie's designs contributed to eco-friendly builds, their worlds intersecting productively. Yet, a profound dilemma emerged. Ethan developed a rare allergy, requiring specialized care. Doctors recommended a move to a less polluted area, perhaps suburbs or even Ohio for family support. Alexander balked. "Leave New York? My empire's here." Jamie pushed. Empire or Ethan's health? Debates raged. Alexander feared losing identity. Jamie worried about regression in conservative areas. Compromise. A second home in Connecticut, commuting to the city. It worked, offering peace. As Ethan turned 2, they reflected on their journey. From that fateful rainy night to a resilient union. Conflicts had tested, but choices defined them. Choosing love over fear, authenticity over approval. Society evolved incrementally. More allies emerged, laws progressed, but divides remained. Their story inspired many, yet provoked others. In the end, they sat on their porch watching Ethan play. "We changed everything," Alexander murmured. Jamie smiled. "For the better." But was their happiness truly earned? Or did privilege shield them from harsher realities faced by less fortunate LGBTQ individuals?